Using a 13mm socket, remove the factory engine skid plate. After removing the factory engine skid, install the 4 bolts back to the factory location. So you'll be removing this brace, followed by this skid plate, and this skid plate for your transmission. To remove these, you'll have 11 total bolts. So you have an 18mm bolt located here, here, and here. Moving back, you have another 6 located here, 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 2 here, and 1 last bolt here. Then to finish it up, you have 2 13mm bolts located here and here that you'll remove using a socket or impact wrench. Using your 4111-6 bracket, position it onto your engine skid plate and run a button head bolt with 1 zinc plated washer through each of the PIM nuts. Using a 7/32 Allen wrench, tighten your 4111-6 bracket fully to the engine skid plate. Using 2 button head bolts with 2 zinc washers, loosely put them through the bracket and hold them up to your engine skid plate. Run another zinc plated washer as well as a nylon lock nut loosely into place, followed on the same thing on the other side. Do not tighten this all the way, keep finger tight. For installing only the engine skid, you will need to plug one of the holes on the skid plate using a short countersunk bolt, followed by a zinc plated washer and nylon lock nut. Go ahead and tighten this while it's out of the vehicle. So with one 18mm bolt sucked snugly into the frame, you're going to tape off where you're going to cut on this bracket and make it flush with the bottom of your cross member. Now remove this bolt so that you can make a clean cut on this bracket. After removing the bracket portion, place a dot in the center of the bracket just after this dimple. You're going to take a 1/4" drill bit and drill straight through that dot. So everything taped off on this blue, for this bracket, we are going to cut and remove this bubble on this bracket. By removing the bolts, you've given yourself room to cut this without scratching your frame or cutting into any components you don't want to get into. After drilling your 1/4" hole, take a zinc coated washer as well as your Allen button head bolt to secure the bracket into place. Then snug it up using a 5/32 Allen key. Using a 13mm wrench, break loose and remove the engine mount bolt to install your longer hardware. Install your new longer bolt into the engine mount and replace this bolt. Taking your UB1005 bracket, place it inside your cross member with a long weight pointing towards the driver's side. Next, using an 18mm, loosen these 3 bolts to lower your factory fuel skid plate. With those 3 bolts removed, use a pry bar or another object to lower the skid plate so that you can make our cut here. The cut made here is measured 1.7 inches across, 1.2 inches across at the bottom, and it is 2.5 inches tall. This cut is to clear the engine skid plate and make it so it sits flush. Using your 18mm socket, tighten the 3 bolts you used to lower your fuel side. Take your UB1003 bracket and place it into your cross member. Taking your 4111-5 bracket and your flange nut, install the bracket on the driver's side of the engine bay. Loosely install the nut and all following hardware until specified to tighten. Grabbing your 4111-4 bracket as well as another flange nut, place the bracket onto the passenger side of the engine bay. Install hardware loosely.